Hey guys, I want to start off by saying I love this game. It's a well-made game, and I'm gonna try to make a non-biased review of this game made by Rockstar. So let's do it. I want to start off by saying it's a well-made game and it was revolutionary at the time it was originally released. I'm currently reviewing the PS4 version, not the PS3 or Xbox 360 version. It has amazing world building, an interesting main protagonist, and a very big variety of types of cases you do as the detective, Cole Phelps. If you haven't played the game yet, I recommend you play the game first, get a feel for the game and characters, and then voice your opinions in the comment section below. But it's also a way to look back at a pretty underrated game made by Rockstar Games. L.A Noire was originally released on the PS3 and Xbox 360 in May 2011 and November 2011 on the PC and Windows. In November 2017, it was released on the PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. L.A Noire is set in a gritty 1947 and it takes place over the late 1940s and early to mid 1950s. The first case of the game is called Upon Reflection. It's a patrol case in L.A. Noire. This is the first case Cole Phelps takes on the patrol desk, as well as the first case in the original L.A. Noire. The case you're seeing right now is not the first case. This is the fourth case. I couldn't get footage of the first case because I didn't have much storage on my PS4 to record everything. I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis on the first case just because I couldn't get the video for it. As they arrive, a body is being placed in a coroner's vehicle and drives off. A man approaches, introducing himself as homicide detective Floyd Rose, and the man with him is Detective Rusty Galloway. Rose asks if Phelps and his partner Dunn are his backup. Cole responds, introducing himself. They're from Wilshire Police Station, then Floyd briefs them on the situation. The victim was a black male named Scooter Payne who was shot down the alleyway and is on the way to Central Morgue. Floyd states that the witness observed the tall male Caucasian shoot the victim twice in the head and toss his weapon before fleeing the scene. Floyd leaves the task to finding the gun to Dunn and Phelps, stating that the guy was a lowlife. As you search the alley, you will find one of the game's 13 readable newspapers, which are the main course of the collectibles in this game. You discover your first clue after that. All clues or other important information will be stored on your notebook, which is the notebook you see on screen right now, as I'm interrogating Edgar Kalu. Walk a few feet to the left of the bloodstain on the door, which was Scooter was killed. At an open window showing the reflection of a gun on the rooftop of the adjacent building, also known as the building to the left. Walk around the corner of the building, you will find a drain pipe you can climb on. Once on the roof, you will find the following. The murder weapon is a Smith & Wesson Model 27 revolver, nickel-plated with pearl grips that literally couldn't stop a rhino. After you climb back down, Dunn wants to turn in the gun to the station, but Cole wants to investigate the owner of the gun. They go to a nearby gun shop called Central Guns. The storekeeper states that the gun model is a Smith & Wesson Model 27 .357 Magnum with nickel plating and pearl grips. He also explains that he knows the details of the gun because it's only available through special order. And they're only available through special order, might add. The storekeeper then shows his order book to the officers. Upon arriving on the complex, Phelps goes up the stairs to the number 2 apartment to knock on the door of Schroeder, which is the gun owner's name. He'll answer with a cocky attitude. They ask if he owns a Swift & Wesson Model 27 with nickel plating and pro grips, to which Shorter agrees. Phelps then informs him of Scooter's murder, to which Shorter gruffly responds with a dull sense of surprise. He heads to his drawer to verify if his gun is there, but it's missing, prompting Phelps to make an arrest. Shorter then punches the officer Dunn to the floor and brawls with Phelps, ultimately leading to his own defeat as he is cuffed on the floor. This is just the first case of the 20+ cases in L.A Noire PS4 version, and 40 street crimes in the game. A lot of street crimes, it's too much sometimes. Phelps is always accompanied by his detective partner in his patrol days. It was the officer Dunn. In his traffic days, it was Stefan Bukowski. In his homicide days, it was Rusty Galloway. In his short stint with Vice, it was a guy named Roy Earl. And his last stint as a detective comes in the arson desk with partner Herschel Biggs. Herschel Biggs and Rusty Galloway are my personal favorite companions to the main character. Biggs is a wise old detective type, grumpy and kind of a jerk sometimes, and Rusty is a wise guy type, a drunk that cracks very serious and rough jokes. When I mean very serious and rough jokes, I mean maybe offensive jokes to most people. You'll have to play the game to see it for yourself, because you don't get to know Rusty until you play the game. Honestly, you don't. Phelps is a war veteran. He was honorably discharged before the game starts. He's an honorable person. He was just put in a couple of rough patches for the game. I'll try not to disclose a lot of spoilers in this video, because I want, honestly, for the game to be as great as it is to me, for you guys. It's a masterpiece in storytelling, that's for sure. Upon replaying the game, I noticed the worst thing about this game. There's little to no connection between cases, and near the end, where you're when you're put in the shoes of another detective, it feels forced, it feels out of character, it feels out of nowhere. It's fairly explained why you were put in the shoes of this other detective, but it feels out of nowhere, it feels fishy. I played the original game on the PS3, and it was 14 at the time, and then see games with the critique-like eyes that I do now. It's still a very creative and amazing world-building video game, but little bad little things like this make the game feel like a little disjointed at times. This is just the biggest one out of the bunch. If I go one by one, it'll sound like I'm nitpicking, and it'll take like a 2-hour video to dissect and explain every small nitpick. I'm currently 17, and I see this game from a more realistic point of view, and more of a critical one. In my eyes, it still stands the test of time, storytelling-wise. Gameplay-wise, it's janky, and the gunfights felt bad even back then. The one thing that drives this game is the storytelling and the world building. Character interactions is also one of the best things in the game, in my opinion. It feels natural, and when you're driving from time to time, you and your partner will start talking and getting their point of view of the current case, which is a great character building in a sense. This game is a collage of great separate stories, janky and bad shooting mechanics, good and sometimes great character building. The one character that I say has horrible character development is a character named Jack Kelso. He is the detective that should take place, that you're put in the shoes of after Cole for a short stint. He was a comrade of Cole's in the war, and you actually play as him, as I stated. He's a good guy, distant, he's a weird character, but with a little more development, he can fulfill his potential as a character. But that can be stated in another video. I won't go into the analytics with that yet. If I get requested to make this video about Jack Kelso and take a deep dive into L.A Noire lore, I will, but it's not for now. The the worst thing about this game, in my opinion, is the how disconnected it feels between the cases. It feels very unconnected because you get little to no like guarantee that the cases are all one after the other. You'll get like a very sly or very vague reference to the previous cases, but nothing besides that. Like, the only reference I can remember actually was made by Rusty Galloway when you were a homicide detective. He referenced a case that took place 2 cases before the case you were on as like an example for the current case. So it like, you can make the argument that it's all connected, but it doesn't feel that way because it's little to no. Every small little investigation, right, feels separate, and it should because it's different types of investigations. But to the end, it feels even more disjointed because the end plot feels so unconnected to the main plot. Like, the actual main plot of Cole's arc begins halfway through the game already. It feels disjointed and it feels lazy in a sense. That's my opinion. Still love this game though. But tell me what you guys think. Is it good, bad, or neutral? You will like if you enjoyed, and comment down below your outlook on this game. I really want to see your guys' opinion. Thank you guys for giving me the light of day. You're awesome. Bye guys.